What if I told you, whole civilizations have vanished from history, not just forgotten, but erased? Cities that once thrived now lie buried under deserts, swallowed by oceans, or hidden deep in jungles. Advanced engineering, unknown languages, impossible artifacts, all left behind with no explanation. Who were these people? How did they disappear? And most importantly, why do so many of their stories remain hidden? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on history's biggest secret, the lost civilizations the world wasn't meant to remember. Because somewhere, in the ruins and the whispers of the past, lies a truth we're not supposed to find. A truth powerful enough to change everything we think we know about our history. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Number 1, the sunken city of Dwarka, India's Atlantis. Beneath the churning waters of the Arabian Sea lies a world that shouldn't exist. Massive stone walls, perfectly carved steps, and temple-like structures sit silently in the deep, all belonging to a city that legend says was built by Lord Krishna himself. Local fishermen have whispered about strange shapes beneath the waves for generations, but it wasn't until the 1980s that divers discovered the truth. Imagine it, the year is 1500 BCE. The tide is low. Dwarka's golden spires glisten in the morning light as merchants from faraway lands unload ivory, spices, and copper ingots at the busy harbor. Priests chant in ornate temples while children run through narrow stone streets. Then, the ocean begins to rise. Slowly at first, then violently. Storm after storm batters the coastline until one night, Dwarka is swallowed whole. Its people vanish into history. When modern marine archaeologists descended with sonar equipment, they found geometric patterns on the seabed, streets, walls, and what appears to be a massive gateway. Carbon dating of recovered artifacts placed them at over 9,000 years old, far older than the Indus Valley civilization. So who built Dwarka? Was it truly a city from the Mahabharata brought to life, or an even older civilization erased by the sea? If you were a diver, would you descend into these ruins, knowing you might be looking at the oldest city on Earth? Drop your thoughts below. But Dwarka isn't the only place hiding in plain sight. Some cities never sank, they simply vanished into the desert. Number 2, the rose-red city of Petra, carved into stone, vanished into sand. In the heart of Jordan's desert, where the cliffs blaze crimson under the afternoon sun, lies an entrance carved straight into the rock. You walk through the Sikh, a narrow canyon, its walls towering above you, slicing out all but a ribbon of sky. The air grows cooler, the light dimmer, until suddenly, it appears. The treasury. A facade so perfect it looks like a palace from a dream, columns, pediments, and carvings, all sculpted from living stone. This is Petra, the capital of the Nabatean kingdom. 2,000 years ago, it was one of the wealthiest cities in the ancient world, controlling trade routes that brought spices, incense, and silk from Arabia to the Mediterranean. Now imagine Petra at its height. Camel caravans stretch for miles, bells jingling as merchants unload exotic goods. Nabatean engineers channel water through hidden pipes, turning the desert into lush gardens. The streets are alive with music, bargaining, and the scent of frankincense. And then, almost without warning, the city fades. Trade routes shift. Roman expansion cuts its power. An earthquake delivers the final blow. By the Middle Ages, Petra is forgotten, swallowed by sand and guarded by towering cliffs. For centuries, only Bedouin tribes knew its location, and they kept the secret. It wasn't until 1812 that a Swiss explorer, disguised as an Arab pilgrim, stumbled upon it. Since then, archaeologists have uncovered an amphitheater, royal tombs, and intricate hydraulic systems that still baffle engineers. But here's the mystery: how did a people in the middle of an unforgiving desert master water management so advanced that even modern experts marvel at it? And could Petra's sudden decline have been influenced by something more than economics and earthquakes, perhaps even political sabotage? If you could walk through Petra's rose-red canyons today, what would you look for first, the secrets of its engineering or the stories hidden in its tombs? Tell me in the comments. From the burning deserts of Jordan, we travel to a place far stranger, a city hidden deep in the Amazon, where stone pyramids rise from the jungle floor. Number 3, the Amazon's lost cities, stone pyramids beneath the canopy. The air is heavy, damp, and alive with sound. Cicadas buzz like tiny machines, monkeys cry out from somewhere unseen, and every breath feels thick with the scent of earth. You push through tangled vines, machete slicing a narrow path forward. Then, you see it. A wall. Not of wood or clay, but stone. Covered in moss, roots digging into its cracks, the structure towers above you, disappearing into the green. At its base, faint carvings tell of warriors, jaguars, and celestial symbols. You have stumbled upon the ruins of a forgotten city, deep in the Amazon rainforest. For centuries, Western explorers dismissed the idea of advanced civilizations in the Amazon. The soil, they argued, was too poor to sustain large populations. But indigenous legends told a different story, of El Dorado, the Golden City, of cities of the white stones, where rulers commanded thousands. And over the last few decades, satellite technology and LiDAR scanning have proven those legends weren't just myths. Beneath the thick canopy, researchers have uncovered vast networks of roads, canals, plazas, even pyramids. Some cities covered hundreds of square miles, home to tens of thousands of people. And they weren't simple villages, they were planned urban centers, with agriculture systems so advanced they transformed the jungle itself into a kind of living farm. One site, near the Brazilian-Bolivian border, revealed a network of geometric earthworks that match astronomical alignments, a level of sophistication suggesting not just survival, but thriving cultural and spiritual life. The most shocking part? Many of these cities vanished centuries before European contact, likely due to disease, climate shifts, or internal collapse. But here's the question that keeps archaeologists awake at night. How much of the Amazon's wild jungle is actually man-made, shaped by human hands thousands of years ago? And if we've only scanned a fraction of it, what else is still hiding in that green ocean? If you could explore one of these hidden jungle cities, would you focus on uncovering its lost technology, or its spiritual secrets? Let me know below. From the steaming jungles of South America, our trail now leads to the freezing depths of the Atlantic, where a legendary city is said to have sunk beneath the waves. Number 4, Atlantis, myth or memory? The waves crash hard against the rocky coast, spraying salt into the air. Far on the horizon, dark clouds gather like an army. A fisherman stares out to sea, his hands gripping the edge of his small wooden boat. He's heard the stories all his life, of a great city that once rose from those waters, its towers catching the sunlight like fire. A city that, in a single night, was swallowed whole. We know this legend from Plato, the Greek philosopher who, in 360 BCE, described Atlantis as a powerful island civilization larger than Libya and Asia combined. According to his account, it was rich in resources, advanced in engineering, and bold in exploration. But its pride, he claimed, led to its downfall, punished by the gods through earthquakes and floods. For centuries, scholars dismissed Atlantis as pure allegory, a moral lesson dressed as a story. But then came discoveries that made people pause. Off the coast of Spain's Cadiz region, researchers found strange rectangular structures on the seabed. In the Caribbean, divers encountered what appeared to be ancient road-like formations under the waves. And in the Azores, mid-Atlantic, sonar scans revealed shapes that some believe could be the foundations of human construction. Modern theories split in two camps. Some argue Atlantis never existed outside Plato's imagination, that it was inspired by the eruption of Santorini and the collapse of the Minoan civilization. Others, however, see Atlantis as a fragment of real human memory, a story passed down from survivors of a prehistoric global flood, perhaps dating back to the end of the last ice age when sea levels rose dramatically. The fascination with Atlantis isn't just about whether it existed, it's about what it represents. A civilization so advanced it left traces in myths across cultures, from the flood stories of Mesopotamia to the drowned kingdoms of Celtic legend. Could all these separate myths be memories of the same catastrophic event? Do you think Atlantis was a real place that existed thousands of years ago, or just a story invented to teach a lesson? Tell me what side you're on. And while Atlantis might lie hidden under waves, our next mystery takes us not below the ocean, but beneath the endless sands of the Sahara. Number 5, the Eye of the Sahara, Gateway to a Lost World. The Sahara Desert stretches endlessly, a golden ocean of shifting dunes under a sun that seems to never set. But far from any road or settlement lies something so massive, it can only be truly seen from the sky. A perfect circle, nearly 30 miles wide, carved into the desert like the fingerprint of the earth itself. Locals call it the Eye of Africa. Scientists know it as the Richat Structure. In the silence of the desert night, you can imagine it as it might have been thousands of years ago, not sand, but sea. Waves rolling over coral reefs, small islands dotting the horizon. Traders in reed boats crossing between bustling ports. The air filled with the sound of markets, the smell of spiced food, the clang of bronze tools. But then, the waters recede. The land cracks. And the desert claims everything. Geologists say the Richat is the eroded remains of a massive geological dome, natural, not man-made. Yet its perfect concentric circles, size, and location have made it a favorite among Atlantis hunters. Some believe this could have been the fabled city's location, matching Plato's description of rings of water and land. Satellite images show ring after ring, as if someone drew a giant target on the Earth. Expeditions have found ancient tools, marine fossils, and artifacts scattered around the region, hints that this place was once fertile and alive. If true, that means an entire chapter of human history may be buried beneath this sand, waiting to be uncovered. But here's the strange part, the Richat sits in a region that, according to climate models, was lush green only a few thousand years ago. Lakes, rivers, and grassland stretched across what is now endless desert. If a city existed here, its erasure would have been swift and complete. Is the Eye of the Sahara just a stunning quirk of nature, or the tombstone of a civilization erased from the maps? Until we dig deeper, it remains one of Earth's most haunting riddles. If you could join an expedition to dig beneath the Eye of the Sahara, would you take that chance, knowing you might uncover something that changes history? From the sands of Africa, we now journey to the frozen ends of the Earth, where another mystery sleeps beneath miles of ice. Number 6, Antarctica's buried ruins, cities under the ice. The southernmost point on our planet is a place few humans will ever see with their own eyes. Antarctica, a frozen kingdom of endless white, whipped by winds that can strip flesh in minutes. On the surface, it looks like an untouched wilderness. But what lies beneath its miles of ice has become one of the most controversial mysteries in modern history. In 2016, NASA satellites detected strange geometric patterns deep under the Antarctic ice sheet. Perfectly straight lines. Symmetrical angles. Shapes that nature rarely creates on its own. Some scientists brushed them off as ice fractures, but others, including a handful of whistleblowers, claimed they were the remnants of structures, man-made, and impossibly ancient. Imagine it, thousands of years ago, before the ice swallowed the land, Antarctica may have been a lush continent, with rivers, forests, and civilizations thriving along its shores. Geological studies confirm this. Ice core samples show that parts of Antarctica were ice-free less than 6,000 years ago. If that's true, human settlement here wasn't just possible, it was inevitable. One fictionalized account, whispered among conspiracy theorists, tells of a secret 1938 Nazi expedition that allegedly discovered a massive underground city. The story claims they found towering stone halls, strange inscriptions, and technology that didn't match any known civilization. Official history dismisses this as pure myth, yet declassified military files show that Antarctica became a hotspot for unexplained operations during the mid-20th century. Recent ground-penetrating radar scans have only deepened the mystery, revealing vast hollow spaces under the ice, some large enough to fit entire cities. Could these be natural caves, or something far older, intentionally built? If a lost civilization lies entombed here, the ice has preserved it perfectly. Every wall, every artifact, every secret, frozen in time, waiting. But perhaps that's the point. Perhaps some histories are meant to stay buried, far from curious eyes. If tomorrow scientists announced they had found a city under Antarctica's ice, would you believe them, or would you think it was just another cover-up? From the world's coldest secrets, we now dive into its darkest depths, where sunken empires lie in silence beneath the waves. Number 7. Yonaguni's underwater pyramids, the Atlantis of the Pacific. Beneath the waves, strange shapes on the ocean floor that seem too perfect to be natural. In 1986, a local diver named Kihachiro Eretake discovered the truth. While exploring a reef, he came off the coast of Japan's Yonaguni Island. Fishermen have long told stories of shadows moving sea to face with what looked like a massive stone staircase, plunging into the deep blue. What he found would become one of the greatest underwater mysteries of the modern era, the Yonaguni Monument. 40 feet tall and over 300 feet long, it's a maze of terraces, sharp-edged platforms, and what appears to be a pyramid-like structure. To the untrained eye, it's impossible to tell if this is the work of ancient engineers or just an incredible coincidence of geology. Japanese marine geologist Dr. Masaaki Kimura spent decades studying the site and concluded it's man-made, dating it back at least 10,000 years. That would make it older than the Egyptian pyramids, older than Stonehenge, and possibly built during the last ice age, when sea levels were lower and this area was dry land. But if so, who built it? And why? Legends among the Okinawan people speak of a lost kingdom called Mu, a Pacific empire swallowed by the ocean in a great cataclysm. Some believe Yonaguni's ruins are the last remains of that vanished world, an Atlantis of the East. And then there are the fictionalized accounts, whispered in diving circles, of divers who swore they saw massive stone statues, hallways carved into the rock, and even symbols etched into the walls, before the currents grew violent, almost as if something was warning them to leave. Mainstream scientists argue the monument is a natural formation, shaped by tectonic activity and ocean erosion. But even they admit, certain features, like a massive stone stage and perfectly aligned pillars, are difficult to explain without human hands. The deeper you go into Yonaguni, the harder it is to separate history from myth. Perhaps it is just rock and water, or perhaps it's the silent tomb of a civilization erased by time and tide. If these ruins were proven to be man-made, would it rewrite history, or would the truth be buried to protect what we think we know? From the depths of the Pacific, our search for hidden civilizations now takes us to a place where stone and jungle intertwine, a city lost in the heart of Central America. Number 8, the Lost City of the Monkey God, Curse of the White City. Deep in the dense, untouched rainforests of Honduras, there are whispers of a place few dare to seek, La Ciudad Blanca, the White City. For centuries, it existed only in local legends. The Pesh and Mosquito people spoke of towering white stone temples, golden idols, and a monkey god who demanded respect, or unleashed terrible misfortune. In the early 20th century, explorers like Theodore Mord returned from the jungle with tales of strange ruins and even stranger warnings. Mord claimed to have found the city in 1940 but refused to reveal its location, saying it was cursed. Months later, he died under mysterious circumstances, fueling the legend that anyone who tries to uncover the White City meets an untimely end. For decades, the story was dismissed as a mix of native folklore and jungle fever. But in 2015, using cutting-edge LiDAR scanning, a team of archaeologists finally found what appeared to be the remnants of a massive city hidden beneath the rainforest canopy. The images revealed plazas, pyramids, and an intricate network of roads, all swallowed by vines and roots over centuries. When the expedition team set foot in the ruins, they found not just architecture, but hundreds of stone artifacts, many carved with the image of a half-human, half-monkey deity. And that's when the curse seemed to awaken. Several members of the expedition later contracted a rare, flesh-eating parasite from the jungle. Some barely survived. Historians debate whether the city was a branch of the Mayan Empire, a separate advanced civilization, or something far older. And yet, the jungle seems determined to keep its secret. Many areas remain unexplored, choked by deadly wildlife, quicksand-like mud, and thick mist that swallows sound. Local guides tell one more unsettling story. Sometimes, when the wind dies, you can hear distant drums and faint chanting deep in the forest, as if the monkey god's followers are still there, guarding the city from intruders. The White City stands as a reminder that there are still blank spots on our maps, and that not all of Earth's mysteries have been erased by time. If you found the lost city of the monkey god, would you explore it, or turn back before the curse found you? And while our journey through these hidden civilizations comes to an end, one truth remains: history's greatest stories are often the ones it tries hardest to hide. If you've enjoyed uncovering these hidden worlds with the muted records, don't let the secret stop here. Subscribe for more, tap that like button, leave your theories in the comments, and share this journey with fellow seekers of the unknown. Together, we'll keep history's whispers alive.